BBBY has retraced a bit, but there could be still some upside left in it. Let's go ahead and verify now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a BBBY technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at BBBY on the 5-day chart here. Okay, so this is very particular because it's playing just mad trickery over here. Okay, you guys, so this is actually a huge bull trap, big fake out. It actually didn't touch the resistance line of the broadening descending wedge. We actually did get that test number 1 and 2 way later, and now we have actually tested that dreadful test number 3, followed by a huge capitulation event, you know, per the golden rule of 3, of course. And we have since attempted to recover our broadening descending wedge. Okay, so we have failed it, but there are a couple things that kind of suggest as to why we failed it. But like I said, I still see some upside, but there could be a reaccumulation period from here. I'm talking about maybe in the immediate short term. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue our validations here. All right, so we're going to look at now the Crypstex ARC-Series indicators. Okay, so for example, this one with all the little numbers on them. So this is a statistical indicator. This is called ARC-DBSI. Okay, so this indicator actually takes a metric of every single candle printed in the asset's particular time frame. So in this case, we are looking at it on the daily chart. Okay, so one particular thing before we continue on the analysis on our DBSI is this. Okay, so please notice that the support range that we're looking at immediately, or the resistance range, actually is the same resistance range that we actually faced on April 2nd, 2020. Please look at the price action. We're currently right here, and this is why we have now faced the rejection that we're currently facing. Okay, so as you can see historically, there pretty much is nothing there. So so that's the first sign that I just mentioned that could be indicative to our, you know, we are not continuing to the upside thus far. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now in the after hours, we can actually tell that it's now serving as a little bit of resistance. Why? Because on the 12-hour chart, you can see that we actually wicked down lower, and now we actually started coming up. And in that path to the upside, we face the resistance from that April 2020 touch. Okay, so yeah, April 2nd, 2020. Wow. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and now continue validating what could be happening. Okay, so this is a larger term time frame. Please do keep in mind that. Okay, so we're going to load up DBSI one more time and our 13-day exponential moving average that it does happen to read very well. Okay, so yes, it does take a metric of every single candle printed throughout the entire trading history of the asset's particular time frame. Okay, so now that we're on the daily chart, the relative strength that we're getting for the bulls versus the bears is presented to us here in a percentage value. Okay, so bulls 76 lead over the bears with a 24% loss. Okay, so it's still looking pretty good. Now, another thing that we can focus on is absolutely the ARC enhanced MACD, which is another indicator part of that ARC series Crypstex. Okay, so you can see that we did get that buy signal on January 11th, and it has moved to the upside since. So very good stuff, very good stuff. And oh, it looks like DBSI also gave us that buy signal with the little blue circle down here as well. Okay, so everything is looking good thus far. All right, so now if you guys are interested in purchasing any of these indicators, actually it is 8 indicators to be very particular. Okay, so you would be getting them like this. So just go ahead and send me a DM. We'll go ahead and go over those subscription packages. Okay, you guys. So let's now move on to the next chart as I am done shilling. Okay, so this is the statistical side of the analysis. So I did run a volatility versus momentum backtest on the 5-day chart, and I have gotten back some interesting results that also suggest why the price action has stopped. Okay, so now so just for the new viewers, right, this is volatility you're looking at here in this indicator represented by BBWP. Okay, so and this is momentum down here, represented by stochastic momentum, which is proprietary to TradingView software. All right, so now we pair both of these together because volatility is direction neutral. So we get that bias for direction with stochastic momentum. All right, so stochastic momentum right now is still suggesting a pretty aggressive upside, and yeah, it's definitely continuing on. So now, upon the firing of the signal, let's see, which could have, I mean, which could have arguably been at the opening. Actually, yeah, it would have been at the opening of this candle here. So I'm going to make it a quick adjustment. Okay, so let's go ahead and just remove this measurement and go ahead and apply it from here. So it's going to be upon an opening basis, okay, meaning that the opening of the candle. So you can see the metrics right up here. They're very small, but we can still get it. So it says opening $2.84, which is actually right up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just take a metric from that 284 as close as we can. 285 should be close enough, and we'll take it right to the top of this candle here. Okay, so this is another pretty good example that I really wish to talk to you guys about. Okay, so every single iteration here, it has a criteria. Okay, so meaning that anytime that volatility has reached the critical volatility zone, which is within the 90 percentile or above this yellow trend line, I have taken note of that iterations, the duration, the upside thrust, and the amount of times that volatility versus momentum have guessed the upside correctly versus incorrectly with these vertical lines, green and red. Okay, so that has given us these metrics over here. Okay, so out of a total 35 iterations throughout the trading history of BBBY in the 5-day chart, wow. We have gotten 25 of those guessed correctly to the upside. Okay, so that gives us an averaged upside accuracy of 71.43% with an averaged upside thrust of 62.55% with an average duration of 47.08 days. Okay, this is proof of work. All right, so now that we know that we have the potential to move an averaged 62.55%, and this is just a statistic and it's not a certainty, we can actually see that upon the firing of the signal, we have already moved up 105% of that. Okay, so this is a clear example as to why statistics can be undershot, or they can be overshot. Okay, so this is a very good example. So it was very fair from the firing of the signal, and it now has retraced. Okay, so now this doesn't mean that I'm seeing downside. This just means that it has retraced from a certain point, and that was pretty much a technical level. Okay. So now let's go ahead and move on to the last part of the analysis, as we are going to be looking at the RSI. Okay, so let me just go ahead and start off with one single pane for now, and we'll go ahead and move on. Okay, so what we are looking at here is the divergence chart. Okay, so divergence is the opposition of price action versus momentum, and in this case, momentum represented by this indicator RSI, relative strength index. Okay, so the drives that you are looking at with the blue trend lines are actually drawn by me, and this is something that I have noticed. Okay, so we are looking at 1, 2, 3, and 4 primary drives of phantom hidden bearish divergence. Okay, so we're looking at price action making a series of lower highs, while momentum is making a series of higher highs in its primary pivots. Okay, so that is already in play on the daily chart, and since it is a daily chart, and we're very much in a pretty comfortable level looking at these bearish divergences, it's more than likely that we can continue to the downside temporarily. Okay, and now why temporarily? Let's go ahead and open up that multi-pane and definitely understand why. Okay, so let's go ahead now and also open up the diagram, as I wish for you guys to actually gander at these 4 zones as they are located right over here on the live chart. Okay, so as always, we're going to go ahead and start off with the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame. Okay, so we can see that we are in the 30-minute. Please know that this can actually live out pretty fast. Okay, we can see that we're definitely in the oversold percentile right down here, and we are very close we're very close to that bear strength percentile. Okay, which what that means is that usually we can actually face a type of a pull right back into the bear strength percentile. Okay, suggesting a potential upside. Okay, so the pivot is actually now starting to reject and trying to come back up. Remember, it's just a short-term time frame though. Okay, this is immediate. We can actually see that the 15-minute also has a support from the 14-day moving average represented by that pink line. The purple line is the RSI signal itself. Okay, so when we are in these areas, please know that there is a risk of coming right back down to the following zone. But we do have that 14-day moving average, and this is just, again, 15 minutes is micro time frames. They're going to live out really fast. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the bi-hourly chart, and you can see that the bi-hourly has now or is now starting to show us a potential loss of bear strength. Okay, so we can see that we're starting to pivot, okay, and correct the move towards the upside. Where, I mean, this is absolutely still bearish. We definitely have that 14-day moving average above us, and the good thing is that now we're in the shallow zone of the bear weakness percentile, which only means that we can be gravitationally pulled right back in to the bull weakness percentile. Okay, so now the 6 hour is still suggesting that downside. Okay, so we can actually, it's pretty aggressive downside too, and we do have this 14-day moving average now above us, so it's a fresh cross, and it's still pretty bearish. Now the 12-hour actually has my attention, and why? It's because it looks like it's actually giving us a limited downside. Okay, so now we can see that there is a potential support or a relative support below us that we can use for a significant bounce to the upside. And what is essentially making me sure of that? Well, if we jump into the 3-day chart now, through the 3-day, we can actually see that we're, pivoted just so aggressively to the upside. And we have now made a fresh cross of that 14-day moving average, and we're way above it now. Now in the shallow zones of the bear weakness percentile, suggesting a continuation to the upside since we're gravitationally pulled there. And also the 5-day. Please notice that the 5-day is also very aggressive to the upside, and it has since made that fresh cross above the moving average, and we have now moved outside of the gravitational pull zone from the bear weakness percentile. Okay, so even if we open up that weekly, we can see that the weekly still aggressively pitched to the upside. Bi-weekly still has upside continuation as well. So now, all in all, we can go ahead and now just look at the very last part of this video. I know it was the last one that I was saying, but now we can imply a direction. Okay, so meaning where's the pullback going to kind of realize? Well, I can go ahead and take a look at that for us right now. All right, so yeah, let's just go ahead and make sure that we do have those SMAs up and also our 13-day exponential moving average up. Okay, so as DBSI actually notices when we are above that, the yellow line is a 13-day exponential. Okay, DBSI does notice when we are above that 13-day moving average and reads it as a bullish signal. Okay, so let's go ahead and just block the visibility of DBSI, and now we can see very clear areas here. Okay, so we do have the SMA 10 right below us at about 265. We have that 13-day exponential right by the 50-day simple at about about a 10-cent deficit, maybe 307 to about 317, and that would essentially kind of mark our area of support. And why? Because all three of these moving averages are very much in confluence with our 1 spot 272 and our 2 spots and our 1 spot 618 Fibonacci ratios. Okay, so this is now the geometrical target that I am essentially looking for as a point of accumulation before a continuation to the upside. Okay, so this is essentially what I'm looking at for let's see the RSIs once again. Yeah, so we're going to be facing a pullback for the next, I'm saying very discretionary here, okay? So I am looking at a downside continuation for the next few days, actually, potentially to the end of this week. And then we can actually start to see a recovery following into maybe the early part of next week. or the mid session next week. So now this is per the playbook rules, okay? So if this is going to be invalidated, it's absolutely going to be invalidated with FOMO and with a psychological event, okay? So I'm talking about if we're trading per the norm, okay, just as price action moves with daily, with its daily momentum. No, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets, okay? I do need you to do your own DD, and everything will be just fine, okay, you guys? All right, so that's going to do it for the video. If you do feel compelled to reach out to me, please do so. By utilizing the links in the description below. Twitter is there, Discord is there, and if you want to trade alongside me, go ahead and refer to the link in the description below for the TradingView software, as that will absolutely help out my future of trading, okay, you guys? So that is going to do it for today. I wish you a very good rest of your day, and actually the rest of your long weekend, right, as we are on this Martin Luther King Monday. All right, so yeah, I wish you well a very good day or night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.